be the same.
plans, and the plans that show a kitchen.
Right. So are we denying us with this?
Think so.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I think we did it. Sorry, I tried to make it an earlier night. That failed. Valerie.
Not that I'm trying to keep you any longer. It seemed as though nearly every application had some sort of something that wasn't lining up from the materials provided.
This
And-
happens, like, yeah, that's why I was kind of saying this seemed to be our MO tonight, that it was lacking in material evidence. It seems lots of times we don't get everything. They have no obligation to send us anything other than a notice. So I just want to make that very clear. They have no obligation to send us anything. They're notifying us with a 30-day notice. So we can give them a really hard time. We can do whatever, we try to do. But if we don't hear them and they've given us a 30-day notice, they can still go up there and apply for their liquor license and move forward with the process. Tonight,
I mean, it's been so slow, Donna, that they're reluctant. We have to deal with what we have.
right. I mean, it's
Because
really hurting
I'm
us.
yeah.
It's really hurting us that they are so slow up there, because it's why we're getting, why our agenda looks like we have 40 applications where it comes down. I started with 20, close to 20 tonight, and I heard, what do we hear? 10, right? Everybody wants to get everything in there. They're not withdrawing when normally we would push them to withdraw, because they are so backlogged up there. So it's just, and we are reaping the repercussions of that, because everybody just wants to get their paperwork in, so they start moving things forward because it's taking so long up at the SLA.
Whirlwind, Donna, or we.
No, it is. And then it is interesting, Valerie, because every month you have applications that you think are simple, and then all of a sudden something gets raised, and they never are. But I do think tonight what was more emblematic of not having things, even though I really looked through everything way ahead of time. So
Right.
I didn't know, normally it's like you don't have your addendum, you don't have this isn't filled out. And then all of a sudden at the last minute, I mean, I would say the Howard Street one is the biggest one for me, where I was saying from day one, I don't understand how this is a catering license. Everything they have sent me shows no kitchen, no nothing. Plus they sent the SLA application that everybody doesn't do. And that every checkbox on there said no kitchen, no this. And I'm just like, this is going to take 5 minutes. No catering license, how can you have this if you don't have the kitchen? Then he shows up with, we have a kitchen. I mean,
They put in the adverse history.
right.
You throw in these every single one of these is, well, not a number of them. No C of O's, no this, nothing's clear on that. No, it's,
Well,
Another example of backup.
I'm a coffee spot that's open during the day. I want to close at 2 a.m. It's just.
I mean,
Right.
I do think tonight was a little bit of an outlier for really not having important information that we usually have. That was the below the radar important information, or things changed up with the application. And all the DOB stuff has gotten, Carter, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, because you're up there at the SLA more than anybody else, but it's gotten a little more complicated since they say they're not looking at it until you're renewing the license. And it's so we can still, our questionnaire didn't say that you're still not supposed to be doing this if you don't have the paperwork in order. But because they are so behind, they're letting everybody slide to their renewal, which is why I would hold the place on Canal Street actually accountable, because the renewals happen every 2 years. and they got their license in 2018. That is part of what they got in 2018. We're 4 years later. You should have this stuff. You know, we should be able to see that. And that, but it just makes our arguments, you know, a little more complicated than they used to be. Because it used to be you had to have that stuff before you could go to the SLA. So we could push back on that. You can't, it's just makes it harder. And then the outdoor dining makes it harder.
Previously unlicensed, new buildings, reconfigured buildings.
That nobody, well, I mean, you know, to have a space that huge, but it's been rebuilt. To Susan's point, zoning, you know?
So I'll just tell everybody, by the way, that unlike Donna, I have not prepared way ahead of time. So, and I also haven't done this in a couple of years since before it got this complicated or ever on Zoom. So a little patience for those of you who are with me on Thursday, because I'm a little rusty. This might be a little bumpy, but we'll get through it.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine, Cormac. But
Thank you. I don't want to make it too, I was just.
no, it's a good point, Valerie. I mean, I appreciate that and appreciate you and Stella for sticking on here for all of this. But
We haven't long in a long time. We
No, but
haven't.
This is late.
I
Yeah.
will
Wait,
say
I'm gonna go.
it makes it interesting. Okay, good night,
Okay.
everybody.
Good night,
I'll
everyone.
cut us off. Thank you so much for the detailed conversation.
Bye, y'all.